Hi guys, this is Dan from PlaySport UK. Today's lesson is all about aiming and throwing as part of our ball skills program. So make sure that if you're working in your garden or in your living room or anywhere, you've got enough space. Anything that you need for today's lesson is going to be in the description below. So make sure you try your best and watch the video carefully. Any questions that you've got at the end, please make sure you come and ask us. Right guys, so this challenge here is about aiming and throwing. So what we've got set up for you today is, obviously in our example, we've got a cone and a hoop. But for you, can you try and find something in your house, like a basket or a laundry bin, anything that you can find to land an object into the basket or laundry bin or anything you can find. If you don't have a ball, you can either get a rolled up pair of socks or even a loo roll to use. But obviously in our example, we've got a cone, a hoop, and the ball. So this challenge here is linking in basketball or netball. But if you're not really a fan of them sports, or maybe you don't play them sports, any kind of sport that we use to throw the ball, because we've got to be, we have to have the skill of throwing the ball in the direction that we want to and to the intended target. So what Rob's going to do is, challenge number one, very simply, is Rob's going to see if he can land the ball into the target without the ball bouncing. I'm going to stand behind, hopefully you can see me, I'm going to stand behind the target so the ball doesn't go around me. I've got to challenge myself to catch it. So Rob, what we'll say is, first one is underarm. So underarm to go first, try and land it in the target. Yes, good point to Rob. So that is an underarm throw with his right hand. So now we'll say, can you try and do that 5 times? So give yourself a target, give yourself a challenge of how many points you want to get. Don't go too high, because then if we can't reach that target, we might think that we've failed. So it's got to be a realistic target for us. So we'll say we're not going to go to 5 in this video, but that will be an idea for you. So let's say that Rob's done 5. He's brilliant, like Michael Jordan. So now we'll go left hand. So left hand underarm throw. Yes, brilliant for Rob. So Rob's now used both of his hands, right and left, and again, don't forget, try and get to 5. What we'll say is, if you do find this hard, obviously you can then increase the target. But what you might also say is, if you don't get your object or your ball inside the laundry bin or basket or whatever you have, you might lose a point. So that could be an idea for you as well. So let's say if Rob tries to go in there with his right hand again, and then he didn't get it in the target, he's missed it, he then might lose a point. So then you've got that little bit of pressure for you to get some points. But only, don't forget, only if you find it if you find it too easy. Sorry. So now we'll say is, Rob's now going to go with an overarm right throw, right hand. Good. So bounced it in, and me there. That's a really poor catch from me. I need to make sure I'm catching with 2 hands. That's poor from Dan. So, but a good point from Rob. So Rob there was a right hand over arm throw. Now he's going to try a left hand over arm throw. Yes, brilliant for Rob. Now, the key thing for this challenge for me is our follow through. So if I throw the ball, let's say I'm going to throw the ball to Rob. So Rob is my target. If I need to make sure that my hand and my arm goes and follows through to the intended target line. If I throw the ball and my hand ends up away from the target line, you've seen now Rob's gone out of shot, because I've thrown the ball to the left. So as I throw the ball, if I then become a statue, my hand will go into the target line is into Rob. So that really should be where my ball then lands. Okay, and then in this challenge, sorry, for this target, the hand's going to go in line with the bin or the basket or whatever you guys have at home. Okay, so that is challenge number 1. Don't forget, the follow through is really important. Give it a go and good luck. Okay, so challenge number 2. Now there's a few ways in which we can make this challenge a little bit harder for ourselves. So I'll give you the first part. The first part is ignore the blue and orange. the time being. Let's say we were just using the red hoop as before. If you have enough space in the garden or down a park or in your area in which you're playing, maybe at home, try and see if you can then make the distance a little bit longer. So if that challenge was too easy for you, make it further apart, the distance between where you're throwing from and to your target. Or if you found it harder, feel free then to make it a little bit smaller. Okay? Also, if you haven't got the space in which you can move it, if you have other things in your household, obviously in our example, we've got two other hoops. We've got a blue hoop here and we have an orange hoop. And what we might say is that because the orange hoop is closest to Rob, that would be worth 1 point if Rob throws it into the hoop. Because the red one is maybe in the middle, we'll say that's 2 points awarded to Rob. And because the blue one is further away, that would be 3 points. So we're not just focusing here on PE, we're also focusing on a little bit of maths as well. So make sure you add it up in your head and don't get that calculator out. So we've got Rob here. So Rob's going to go orange. Now, Rob can have a go first, and I want to just touch on one thing during this challenge to make it a little bit easier for us to aim. So your choice, Rob. Go for easy, medium, or hard. What can Rob do? Yes, so that is 2 points to Rob. So in your head, 2 points. Maybe C, can you try and get to 10 points in the least amount of throws? So he's got 2 so far. So now let's see if he can try and get to 10. Oh yes, so 2 add 3 is 5. Good, so that's 5 points to Rob. Oh, Rob's dropped it. Oh, he's going hard again. Brilliant from Rob. That's an underarm throw, but has he gone overarm yet? Try and go over on this time. So that's 5 add 3 equals 8. Well done. So Rob's now got, so if Rob's got 8 points now and he needs to get to 10, how many points might he need to get to win this challenge? Overarm. Yeah, well done to Rob. So Rob got that in 4 throws, I think that was from Rob, so well done. Now, one thing we can do to make this easier when we're aiming is, if I'm going to go to a red hoop, I need to make sure that my body is aligned in that direction towards the hoop. So I've got my shoulders pointing to the hoop, I've got my hips, I've got my knees, and don't forget from challenge number 1, the follow through is important. If I was meant to go to the blue hoop, but my body was facing to the red hoop, now my coordination really, I would find it a little bit more harder to go to the blue hoop. So in the end, now all my target line is all offline. So I need to make sure that before I throw, just like in basketball and netball and in cricket, where your body is aiming to your target, in basketball, your body is aiming to the hoop. And again in this, my body, my knees, my hips, my shoulders are all aligned. Follow through. I'm going to go an overarm throw. Okay, and in it goes. Give it a go. Okay, so our final challenge in our throwing and aiming games. Now what we're going to say is that Rob, same game, we're going to maybe have a few little additions for our maths in this game, but I'm now going to say to Rob that Rob's got to balance on one leg, because we've got to make it hard. And again, the reason why we're doing this challenge is because when you throw, maybe again in cricket I'll use, or in football or in basketball, you might not always be throwing off 2 legs. You might be running and then you might have to throw, and your body weight might be all on one side. So we've got to learn how to throw and aim when our body isn't settled on 2 legs. And that just adds to the realism of our game. So I'm going to say to Rob now is to Rob to go on one leg. So first challenge will be Rob's going to balance on his left leg, and then second challenge he's going to balance on his right leg. Same game. So Rob can go for any of the hoops. Yes, brilliant from Rob. Now, we're going to have a little bit of an addition for maths. Now, this was Rob's really good idea. If you are maybe in Key Stage 2 and you're doing your times table, or even some Key Stage 1 children that want to learn their times table, they could say that Rob got 3 points here. So the next one for Rob, he's got a times 3 by either 1 or 2. So maybe Rob can go for the red one. So if Rob goes for the red hoop, don't forget he's now on his other leg. He's times in 3 by 2. So now can Rob do it? Yes, brilliant. So Rob, what is 3 times 2? 6. 6, he got there in the end. So that's 6 points for Rob. Now Rob, we could go even further, and now our points is 6. So now we could say, let's go 6 times one of these numbers. So now Rob might go in here. So that's 1. So what is 6 times 1? Let's see if Rob can go for number 1. Good, well done for Rob. So 6 times 1 is obviously 6. So now we're back on 6 again, but I just wanted Rob to see if he can go for challenge number, for hoop number 1. I'm sure he could do because Rob's really good. So now, Rob, we'll now make sure that let's try and test your maths now and say, what is 6 times 3? So Rob's now going to go again. So hang on, Rob, so you've gone underarm before, so now he's going to go overarm. He's going to balance on his other leg. Bounce in, yes, brilliant from Rob. 6 times 3 is 18, so you'd be on 18 points. If you're going down the times table route, you then might want to put your target number a little bit higher. So you might want to say you're going to get to 30, for example, okay? So that's a really good way of us combining PE with maths. So give it a go and have fun. Okay, so just another little addition to our game for the times table. If that was too easy for you, where having the values of 1, 2 and 3 was too easy, you can also change the values of the points. So maybe in multiples of 2, for example, this could be 2 points, that could be 4, and this one could be 6, or multiples of 5, that is 5, that is 10, and that is 15. So just because myself and Rob said it was 1, 2 and 3, and we were timed in by that number, doesn't mean that you guys have to follow that. You guys can make it harder for you depending on your level of maths and about the target in which you want to go and complete. Thank you for watching. We hope you found that really enjoyable. Now we want to see how you guys got on in the park, at home, anywhere. So make sure that you get someone in your household, really important, to video you doing the challenges and either upload them to our Facebook page, or you can tag us on Instagram, or just send it to us maybe through an email, and then we can upload it to our YouTube channel, or maybe even our Facebook, to demonstrate your really good skills. We'll see you next time. All the information is in the comments box below. Don't forget to subscribe.